Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now, before I get started, I gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys rock. To my crazy fam, I love you guys. And to my patrons, thank you for your continued support. Now, we're up to episode number 39, almost up to the good old 4.0. And last week I did a double video because of Halloween, and we left off with, let me see if I can get to come up, there we go, we got play modes. That's what we left off on, and I'm going to finish off there. So I'm going to switch over to here and show y'all here while I read off over here, okay? Alright, so play modes. The game engine by default plays actions from the start to the end frame and stop. There are times where you may want to loop the animation, play it backward, or even control the playback speed in a different way. This can be achieved by changing the Action Actuator playback type, as you can see right here. Okay, we have all these you can choose from, and I'm going to list them off right now. I'm going to read some information about it. The first one is play. Okay. Now it's going to go ahead and leave my mouse there. Okay, play plays the action from start to end frames. If you want to play it again, you have to send a new positive signal to the actuator. For example, a keyboard sensor with the pulse enabled can have the animation playing interruptedly if the key keeps being pressed. Okay, so what it means is if you use a keyboard, say you use keyboard and you put it as spacebar, okay, what it's talking about is these two pulse modes right here, negative pulse and positive pulse, okay? It's true level triggering. It's actually triggering now. They used to call it pulse mode in the older Blender. So if you hear of anything referred to as pulse mode, that's these two guys right here, okay? Positive pulse mode, negative pulse mode, okay? So you want to have one of these on, so that way every time you hit the space bar, okay, it will automatically pop up that animation, okay? All right, so next, ping pong. All right, ping pong plays the animation from start to end. Next time, it will play it from end to start, then start to end, and end to start again. And ping, 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 pong. You know how ping pong works. You hit it across the table, comes to the other side of the yeah, just Google it if you don't know. Ping pong is basically when you want to do like a fire animation, would be a good one to do on ping pong, because you want to go forward and backward, so that way it looks different. It's kind of a neat one to do. You know, there's different things you can use for animations that would actually make it go forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Okay, say you have, you know, the death stick that spins around. You know, it's not just spinning, it's actually going left and right, left and right, left and right. It's ping-ponging back and forth. So if you walk into it, it'll kill you. You just gotta figure out the timing for it. Okay, that's ping pong. Flipper. So this one right here, it says plays it until you keep it valid. Okay, as soon as you stop with the positive signal, for example, you release the key, you release the space bar, okay, it plays back to the initial frame. This happens even if the animation was only halfway through the frame. So in other words, if you release the space bar and the character stops jumping, okay, because it's your character, you want them to look like they're jumping, but you don't want, you know, if you let go of the space bar, you want them to come back down. Okay, you don't want them to be like halfway in the jump cycle. Kind of weird, right? You don't want that on there. What you want to do is with the flipper is every time you press it, okay, so every time you press the jump button, the character should jump and have that animation going on at that time. Okay, so then you've got loop stop. Let me scroll down a little bit over here, sorry. There we go. Okay, so kick this back up. Loop stop. Okay, plays the animation while the actuator is valid. If the animation gets to the final frame, it loops back to the start frame. If the actuator is no longer active, it stops right away. Okay, so the loop stop will continue in a loop until you stop, you know, doing it. So for jump, well, we're just going to use jump for this one. Okay, as the character jumps, they're still doing the same animation over and over and over and over again until you let go of the space bar. When you do, it automatically stops. The animation stops, the character goes back to standing up. Okay? The next one is loop end. Plays the animation continuously going to the initial frame after reaching the final one. If you interrupt the signal in the middle of the action, it will behave like a play mode and play it all the way to until the end frame. Now, this is the better one to use for jumping, because when you hit and release it, you want it to continue the jump effect, okay, and your jump animation. So as they're in the air, they're still got their feet up, and then the end of the jump animation is they put their feet down and then they're back on the ground. Okay, so that one would be the best one for that. Also, walking cycles are best with loop ends, because it goes to the end of the walk cycle and does it. Now, you can also use ping pong as a walk cycle. A lot of people don't know that. If you do know that, good on you, because that's actually a good one to do a walk cycle with, because of the fact you're doing this. Okay, as your character moves, it'll pick its leg up and put its leg down and pick this leg up, and then it shifts, and then it goes in reverse. So a lot of the times you can actually get a good walking cycle from ping pong. Okay, just throwing that one back out there. All right, and your last one is priority. Okay, now as you see, I did another video, but my alarm went off, so it didn't help me. So we're going to go ahead and finish with this one. Okay. Property. Instead of using a start and finish frames, which what the other ones all have, they have a start frame and a finish frame, the priority is the only one that does not. Okay, you drive the animation by a game property value. Okay, so let's hit in, and let's put shoot here like I had last time. Shoot. Okay, and we're gonna put it just on integer. Okay, so at shoot 1, the character will shoot. Shoot. At 0, they don't shoot. Okay. You can use any number, integer or not, as a property value. That way, you can have pretty smooth playback. With this option, you can also simulate slow motion, time lapse, or even create your own play mode by controlling the property change as you will. Now we'll get further into this one, because I know that later on we're going to be doing a lot with actuators and stuff, and these are just to get you familiar with it so you understand it. Okay, property actuators can be used for a lot of things in the Action Actuator. Okay, not property actuator, but the property sensor. Okay, which is this little guy over here. Okay, this game property can be used to power your animations. Okay, say for you walk up to a door, you may have an animation that if you have door, every time you walk up to a door, it tests the knob, and it does an animation to test the knob. That's a good one to do property for, okay, because every time you walk up to any door, it tries to check the door. GTA used that one a lot. When you go up to a car and you hit triangle and it tests it, and it's locked. Well, that's an animation that it's going to use, and probably use a property sensor like that in order to make it to where the character plays that specific animation when they pull on the door. Okay. All right. So the next one we're going to get into is blend in, layers, and priority. Okay. If you need to play multiple actions for the same object, you need to configure their transitions and how they will interact. So you need to explore the remaining options in the Action Actuator interface. The blend in, which is this little guy right here. Okay, layers right here, and priority right here. Blend in works as a cross-fading effect between actions, while layer allows to have different actions playing at the same time. Okay, so this is going to blend, okay, your actions, okay, your animations together. Run and walk cycles are big time blend-ins. Okay. Also, if your character gets out of breath and you get the out of breath animation running because they ran too far, and that triggered it, an animation to where they go. Well, if the body's just doing this and the head's not, you might want to have a layer that shows them actually, because you're controlling their head and face. That's another one. Now I'm going to be talking more about that here in just a minute. So let's go ahead and go into Blendin. Blendin is necessary when you need to switch actions. More specifically, it's vital when you want to smoothly fade from one animation to another. Imagine, for example, that your character is walking and then starts to run. Even if the frames of both animation cycles start and end exactly alike, the effect will be strange because they'll jar. They'll do something weird that is not smooth together. Okay? The difference in speed of the actions will make the transition too noticeable and unnatural. Thus, unless you are animating an old car with some engine problems, you don't want the transition to be so abrupt. Therefore, you can blend in the new action, for example, to run, okay, within the current one, to walk. Blendin works even if the old animation is no longer playing. Note that Blendin only works between action actuators that are in the same animation layers. Okay? They gotta be in the same animation layers. Okay, so the next one is priority. Priority will determine the execution order of different actions in the same layer. If you have two or more actions playing at the same time, which one will be played? Okay, this will be up to the priority to decide. The actuator with the lowest priority will be the one played. So a low priority number equals a high execution priority. In other words, 0 will play before 1. 1 will play before 2. So on and so forth down the line. If you have 155 animations, you can layer them however you want, and you can put them in different orders. You can have the run cycle, the walk cycle, each in different orders, and it will play by that order. Okay. All right. Layer weight. Okay, and that's, I believe this is it right here. That's the ratio of influence of the previous animation layers to blend into the current action layer. Yeah. Okay, so this right here is your layer weight. Okay, so this right here is going to give a number that actually fades in. It'll help that layer fade into another one, similar to flying and falling. Okay, you got a character and he looks like he's flying. Oh no, he's falling. That right there, that's a good weight, a good layer. If you play layer 0 and layer 1, you would use this to kind of make that flow in between. It's kind of like a blend in, but without, but just between the two layers. Okay. All right, so we're going to armatures. What are we up to? We're up to about 13 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. We're going to leave off with armatures. Okay, I'm going to switch over there so you can see. There we go. Okay, so we're going to leave off with armatures until next week. Okay, and that's going to be it for today. Hope you learned something. Hope you learned a little bit more about the Action Actuator, and you can actually figure out some of the cool animations you can do. If you have any questions, feel free to drop something down there in the comments, or hop on over to my server, which is right over there. No, there, yeah, over there somewhere. Drop on in. We'd love to have you. Hop on in and say hey, or drop me a comment down below, and we'll see what we can do. So, till next time.